In the dense, suffocating jungles of Burma during World War II, a small, ragtag band of American soldiers known as Merrill's Marauders embarked on what would become one of the most dangerous and daring missions behind enemy lines in history. A mission that tested the limits of human endurance, courage, and sheer survival as they faced not only a relentless Japanese army, but also venomous snakes, disease-ridden rivers, monsoon rains, and terrain so unforgiving that even seasoned veterans had never imagined it. And yet, these men, led by Brigadier General Frank Merrill, were tasked with a seemingly impossible goal: to strike deep into Japanese-held territory, destroy supply lines, capture key positions, and weaken the enemy before the main Allied forces could advance, all while operating hundreds of miles from support, without artillery, air cover, or reliable resupply, carrying nothing but the weapons, ammunition, and rations they could transport on their own backs, and navigating jungles so thick that sunlight barely penetrated the canopy, where every step could conceal hidden enemy patrols or treacherous swamps that swallowed boots, gear, and sometimes men entirely. Over the course of months, these soldiers marched hundreds of miles through sweltering heat, often at night to avoid aerial detection, ambushed Japanese convoys, raided outposts, and relied on their own ingenuity and sheer grit to survive, improvising bridges over rivers, crafting camouflage from leaves, treating tropical diseases with minimal medicine, and enduring malnutrition and exhaustion that would break ordinary men, yet their morale remained astonishingly high because they knew their mission could cripple the Japanese war effort in Southeast Asia and save countless lives in the larger Allied campaign. At Myitkyina, a heavily fortified Japanese airfield and supply hub, the Marauders faced some of their fiercest combat, enduring sniper fire, artillery barrages, and hand-to-hand encounters in the mud and rain. Yet through extraordinary coordination, daring frontal assaults, and small unit tactics that relied on speed, stealth, and surprise, they eventually captured their objective, often fighting to the last bullet, while simultaneously contending with rampant malaria, dysentery, and exhaustion that left men crawling on their hands and knees to move. And yet, their actions inspired both awe and disbelief among Allied commanders who could hardly believe that such a small force had achieved so much against overwhelming odds. When the mission finally ended, Merrill's Marauders had succeeded in disrupting Japanese operations, but at a tremendous cost. Thousands of men were wounded, many died of disease, and the survivors were physically and mentally broken, yet their story became legendary, a testament to determination, bravery, and the extreme sacrifices required in war, demonstrating that victory is sometimes measured not just by territory gained, but by the courage, resilience, and indomitable spirit of the men willing to walk into hell and emerge alive against all odds, leaving behind a legacy that is still studied in military academies today. A story of survival, ingenuity, and heroism in one of the most perilous theaters of World War II, proving that small, disciplined, and highly trained forces can achieve what conventional armies cannot, and that the jungle of Burma, once an impenetrable fortress for the Japanese, became the proving ground for men who would be remembered forever as Merrill's Marauders.